Hey guys, this is Trevor, one half of Tunnel Light Studios, the other half being my twin brother Trent. I thought I'd do an end of year video showcasing all the videos that we did this year. We did 28 in total. We also got up to about 500 subscribers, which isn't a lot, but we're hoping to quadruple those numbers in 2022. Without further ado, here's the video. Hope you enjoy. I kicked off the year helping my brother with a film recreation of the opening titles for A Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3. He built a papier-mâché dollhouse and hunted down as many of the props he could, shooting the same angles and using the same edit timing for a one-to-one recreation. The second video was a bit of a moody B-roll shot at a local cemetery. I'm definitely wanting to shoot more B-roll in 2022 in between bigger projects. In April, Kenzie reached out and asked if we'd like to do a video portrait. This was the second video portrait Tunnel Light did, with the first being shot in September of 2020. My brother wanted to work on a second film recreation and chose the opening to the HBO series The Outsider. This required a lot of different elements, including drone footage, numerous props and outfits, along with actors and extras. We shot predominantly on vintage glass, such as the 50mm Takumar, 35mm Carl Zeiss, and Helios 44-2. During the May-long weekend, we went up a mountain which overlooked Kelowna and shot with a vintage Takumar 50mm all handheld. The third film recreation was the opening to Misery. We really wanted to nail cinematic lighting and incorporate the Dehancer plugin in DaVinci Resolve to achieve a beautiful filmic look. Unfortunately, we didn't have James Caan's classic Mustang nor a snowstorm, so we went with a motorcycle instead. The third video portrait I shot was with the lovely Cailin. We filmed at the Japanese Gardens in Kelowna at midday. I remember it being very hot, and the sunlight made it difficult to see the Sony's LCD screen, but things really turned out. In June, Trent and I took a trip to our hometown of Quesnel and shot some narrative B-roll. I wanted to recreate a bleach bypass look in DaVinci, and think I achieved it quite nicely. Near the end of July, things got extremely hot, and my friend and I shot a bikini video at magic hour on and near the beach. I think some of the footage was underexposed because I really had to fight noise artifacts in post, but I really love how it turned out. I reached out to Jules through Instagram to see if she'd like to do a shoot. It ended up being a record-breaking heat wave that week, and I was sweating buckets that day, but we still achieved a solid video portrait. One of my favorite video portraits. Shaelyn was easy to work with and made things look effortless. I decided to take the camera off gimbal for the first time and shot half the footage handheld. I think it gave the footage a real organic feel, and I love the color grade. At the beginning of July, I shot my first wedding. I had no clue what to expect or how it would turn out. It was an 11-hour day during that record heat wave, and the Sony shut down just as the bride and groom were saying their vows and about to kiss, but it all worked out in the end. Another one of my favorite shoots of 2021. Amber is easygoing and up for anything. The landscape provided a challenge to move around, and I worried whether I had enough footage, but once edited and color graded, everything looked better than I expected. The views at this spot are breathtaking. My second video with Shae, it took me a week to find the perfect waterfall. As always, working with Shae was a blast. I'm very happy with the color grade. I used a LUT for the base, then finished it off with dehancer to give better highlight roll off to the skin. Kenzie randomly reached out to me like she often does for our second shoot of 2021. There were some forest fires going on in the area which gave this beautiful volumetric depth to the footage. I also wanted to attempt to nail an 8mm film look, which I think I succeeded at. In August, my friend Lee invited me to come to Vancouver and shoot a video portrait of her. I love the location, and the use of her guitar as a prop gave me a lot to work with. I love the colors, especially when you see the lighthouse. In that same weekend in Vancouver, I also had a chance to shoot my friend Victoria. It was a quick 40-minute shoot, but that's all I needed to capture her amazing belly dancing skills. At the end of August, I shot with Jessica. This was a quick one, all done with the 55mm Zeiss on a gimbal. Apparently, everyone seems to like it because it has 24,000 views, which is 10 times more than typical on my channel. This shoot with Shaina was great. She's a professional model, so she knows how to pose in a way that helps me as a cinematographer get the best out of the image. I really like a lot of the compositions. Initially I was worried because of the harsh midday lighting, but once again that Sony A7iii high dynamic range paid off. I returned to the waterfall I shot with Shae earlier in the summer with my friend Alicia. I wanted to differentiate the look as best as I could, so shot mostly in 24 frames per second and went with a warmer color grade. In September, I shot with Cailin. I don't normally shoot indoors because I find the lighting more challenging. I also decided to shoot completely in 24 frames per second, as sometimes slow motion can be a bit of a crutch. I hope to do more indoor shoots this new year to challenge myself with lighting. In late September, I shot my first product video for my friends at Surfinity. It was a great day out on the water, and they were extremely happy with the results. I look forward to doing more commercial work in 2022. In October, I shot with Josie. This was a lot of fun. We went with the narrative video portrait utilizing 2 outfits, a number of props, some colored smoke bombs, and came up with everything on the spot. Even the giant mushroom was found at the location and added to the story. Katie, I wanted to do an urban fashion style vibe. I shot specifically handheld, which helps keep things creative and loose. This was a fun shoot. I shot my second commercial work for Lovetree clothing. I liked the variety of outfits as well as the ability to edit with 2 different models. I wanted to utilize a lot of split screen to get creative with the edit. Heading into the end of the year, I reached out to Taylor. Again, I decided to go completely handheld. I wanted to give a vintage 8mm to a 16mm look with the video portrait. I also worked a bit more on the titles to make it feel retro. Looking back, I could have fine-tuned the skin tones a bit more, but still love how it turned out. My third commercial work was with the local company Canadian Frost, who make handmade toques. The shoot took me up into the mountains where I was terribly unprepared for the weather. I also didn't bring a tripod, so I had to make do with a bunch of stacked garbage containers. Things worked out as always. To end off the year, I got to shoot with Shae. We had talked about doing something together for a while. We only had 50 minutes to utilize 2 outfits. I shot both handheld and gimbal, and in the edit took advantage of Tom Bull's amazing power grade Cineprint 16 to reproduce the look of film, at the same time using glass and light overlays to give it an otherworldly feel. I absolutely love how this video turned out, and it was a great way to end 2021. And there you have it, a full year of making films. In 2022, we hope to be way more productive. We hope to do tutorials, more vlogs, a lot more lighting setups, editing challenges, and push ourselves further and further. If you like this channel or you like this video, please like and subscribe. Anyway, see you guys around.